Tonight, we step quietly into a distant world, a world where stone castles rise from the mist and torchlight flickers against ancient walls. This is the medieval world, not in the noise of battle, but in the calm of the night. Imagine standing on a grassy hill beneath a pale moon. The air is cool, the land is silent, except for the soft whisper of the wind moving through tall grass. In the distance, a castle rests peacefully, its towers dark and still, as if they too are sleeping. These castles were not only places of war, they were homes. They were shelters. They were entire worlds made of stone, wood, and quiet routines that shaped everyday life. Tonight, we are not rushing through history. We are slowing it down. We are walking gently through medieval life, one calm moment at a time. Inside these walls, people wake before sunrise. They share simple meals. They work with their hands. They live by the rhythm of daylight, seasons, and life here is slower, heavier, and deeply connected to the land. Knights polish their armor by firelight, not for glory, but for duty. Servants move silently through corridors, carrying water, bread, and candles. Outside the walls, villagers sleep in wooden homes, wrapped in the same darkness, under the same moon. This is not a story of loud battles. It is a story of quiet nights, steady routines, and lives shaped by stone and time. Allow your breathing to slow. Let the images fall gently in your... As the castle rests under the stars, so can you. There is nowhere to go, nothing to do. Only history, speaking softly, as sleep begins to arrive. In the next moments, we will step closer. We will enter the castle gates and discover how everyday life truly felt in the medieval world. The heavy wooden gates open slowly, not with noise but with a deep, patient creak shaped by years of use. Inside the castle walls, life continues in quiet patterns, even as night settles in. Stone corridors stretch into shadow. The walls are thick, cold to the touch, holding centuries of silence. Torches flicker gently, their flames breathing slowly, casting warm light across the stone floor. This is not a place of constant battle. Most days pass without conflict. Instead, they are filled with repetition, discipline, and routine. In the great hall, long wooden tables stand empty now. Earlier, they were crowded with bowls of stew, rough bread, and quiet conversation. The smell of firewood still lingers in the air. High above, banners hang motionless. They tell stories of families, alliances, and promises made long ago. But tonight, they simply rest. Servants move softly through the halls. Footsteps are slow, voices are low. Everything is done with intention, as if the walls themselves are listening. Somewhere deep inside the keep, a knight removes his armor piece by piece, not in triumph, but in fatigue. Metal rests beside stone. The day is finished. Rooms are small, dim, and practical. Windows are narrow, letting in only thin lines of moonlight. Warmth comes from fire, blankets, and closeness to others. Life inside the castle is not comfortable by modern standards, and familiarity brings calm. Take a moment to imagine the steady glow of torchlight, the distant sound of the wind pressing against stone walls. This is a world that sleeps early and rises early. A world where silence is respected and where night is not feared, but accepted. Beyond these walls, the village sleeps, and soon we will follow that quiet path outward. Below the castle walls, the village rests quietly in the darkness. Small wooden houses cluster together, protected by stone and shadow. Roofs glisten faintly under the moon, damp with night air. This is where most lives unfold, not in armor, not in banners, but in simple routines repeated day after day. Fires burn low, families gather close, wrapped in wool and habit. The day's work is finished, and the body finally slows. The air smells of earth, smoke, and hay. Animals sleep in nearby shelters, their breathing steady and calm. Even they seem to understand the hour. Earlier, these villagers worked up the fields beyond the walls. They planted, They harvested. They repaired tools worn down by time. Life here follows the sun, not the clock. When darkness comes, movement fades naturally. There is no rush to stay. A distant bell marks the hour, soft and unhurried. Not a warning, just a reminder that the night has arrived. Children sleep early, exhausted by open air and labor. Elders sit quietly, listening to the fire crackle. Stories are not shouted, they are whispered. This village depends on the castle for protection, and the castle depends on the village for survival. Their lives are bound together. Imagine the stillness now. No engines, no screens, only wind brushing past wood and stone. Somewhere, a dog shifts in its sleep. A door settles into its frame. The night deepens. Tomorrow will come with the sun. But for now, nothing is required of anyone. Only rest. Inside the castle walls, the knights' quarters rest in near silence. Armor hangs carefully on wooden stands, polished but worn. Metal reflects the firelight softly. No longer a symbol of battle, just of duty completed. A knight removes his gloves slowly. Hands are rough, marked by training and repetition. Tonight, they hold nothing. Earlier in the day, these men trained in the courtyard. Swords met shields in steady rhythm, not with rage, but discipline. Strength here is not loud, it is controlled, measured. Now, the training is over. Bodies are tired in a satisfying way. Muscles loosen as the night stretches on. Some knights sit quietly, sharpening blades they will not use tonight. Others say nothing at all, simply listening to the fire breathe. There is comfort in routine. The same stone walls, the same wooden benches, the same shared silence. A helmet is set down gently. A cloak is folded with care. Every movement is slow. Outside, the wind moves along the battlements. Torches flicker, they accept it. This is not the world of legends and songs. This is the world between battles. The world where rest matters more than glory. Breathing becomes deeper. The pace of thought softens. Nothing needs to be proven tonight. Only endurance. Only stillness. The great hall is no longer a place of noise. Long tables stand empty, their wooden surfaces catching faint firelight. Cups remain where they were left, untouched, waiting for morning. High above, thick beams cross the ceiling like slow-moving shadows. They have watched centuries pass. They watch again, in silence. A fire burns low at the far end of the hall. Its crackle is gentle, not demanding attention, only offering warmth. Earlier, this voice is echoed. Footsteps crossed the stone floor. Now the echoes are gone. Only the quiet remains. A banner stirs slightly as air drifts through the hall. Cloth moves as softly as breath. Colors fade into darkness. Benches line the walls, worn smooth by generations. Hands have rested here. So have thoughts. The castle does not sleep like people do. It simply slows. Every stone settles. Every sound grows smaller. This hall has known celebrations and grief, feasts and farewell, victories and loss. Tonight, it holds none of that. Just stillness. The fire lowers itself. Shadows stretch longer. Time loosens its grip, and the hall rests. Outside the great hall, the castle courtyard lies open to the night. Stone walls rise on every side, tall and unmoving, holding centuries of memory within them. Above, the sky is clear. Stars hang quietly, distant and cold, yet comforting in their stillness. A single torch burns near the gate. Its flame bends gently with the breeze, never rushing, never fading. The light moves slowly across the stones, revealing worn paths shaped by countless footsteps. This courtyard has seen arrivals and departures, messengers riding in at dawn, knights leaving before sunrise, horses restless, armor softly clinking. But now there is no urgency here. The night has claimed the space. A guard stands near the wall. His presence is calm, almost blending into the shadows. He is not watching for danger, only for time to pass. Somewhere, water drips from a stone ledge, drop by drop. Steady, unconcerned. The castle breathes differently at night. Sounds travel farther. Silence grows heavier. Even the wind moves carefully, sliding along the walls as if not to disturb the peace. The stars remain unchanged. They will watch long after it fades. Here, beneath the open sky, the world feels slower, safer, unhurried. Nothing needs to happen. The night is already complete, and the courtyard settles into quiet watchfulness. Inside the castle, a narrow stone stairway curves upward, disappearing into shadow. Each step is worn smooth by centuries of use. Footsteps once echoed here, heavy, hurried, important. Tonight, the air is cooler in this passage. Stone holds the memory of cold, releasing it slowly into the night. A torch rests in an iron bracket, its flame steady, casting long, quiet shadows along the wall. The stairway feels endless, not because it is long, but because time itself seems to stretch here. Knights once climbed these steps carrying armor that weighed as much as their thoughts. Servants moved silently, careful not to wake those who slept above. Messengers hurried upward, hearts racing with news meant for only one pair of ears. Now, the stairway belongs to silence. Each step invites calm. Upward, and then another, and another. The walls feel close, but not threatening. They are protective, enclosing the moment, keeping the outside world away. The torch flickers once, briefly, then steadies again. Light and shadow dance together, slow and unhurried. Here, there is no rush to reach the top. The climb itself is the moment. Breath becomes softer. Thoughts begin to drift. The castle does not demand attention. It only asks you to move slowly and listen. And as the stairway rises into darkness, the night continues to guide the way. Step by step, calm follows you upward. At the top of the stairway, the space opens into the watchtower, a circular room, narrow but calm, surrounded by stone older than memory. Small windows cut into the walls, framing the night sky in quiet fragments. Through them, the land stretches outward. Fields, forests, and distant roads, all resting under darkness. A wooden stool sits near the wall, unused, waiting. Long ago, a knight would have stood here through the night, eyes fixed on the horizon, listening for hooves, watching for firelight, preparing for a world that no longer stirs. Tonight, there is nothing to guard against. The wind enters softly through the narrow openings, brushing the stone, carrying the scent of earth and grass. It moves without urgency, as if it knows the night belongs to rest. Below, the castle sleeps. Above, the stars remain patient. The watchtower feels suspended between worlds, not fully part of the earth, not fully part of the sky. It is a place for waiting, for stillness, for thoughts to slow and settle. Even the past seems quieter here. The stories of battles, alarms, and long watches fade into the stone. What remains is peace. The horizon does not change. No signals appear, no danger comes. And so the tower continues its silent duty, not watching for enemies, but holding the night gently in place. From this height, the world feels distant, and sleep feels closer. Far below the castle walls, the village rests in deep silence. Small wooden houses lean gently toward one another, as if sharing warmth in the night. Thatched roofs hold the memory of rain. Stone chimneys stand cold, their fires long extinguished. No voices drift through the air. No footsteps disturb the earth. Only the faint sound of the wind moving through narrow streets, softly brushing doors that remain closed. Once, this village would have been alive even after sunset. Lanterns glowing, quiet conversations near doorways. The distant laughter of families ending their day. Now, everything sleeps. A lone well stands in the center of the square. Its rope hangs still, its bucket untouched. Nearby, carts rest where they were last left, wheels sunk slightly into the dirt. Work paused, time suspended. The village feels protected, wrapped beneath the castle's shadow, as if the stone walls above are holding the night at bay. No danger approaches, no alarms will sound. Even the animals remain quiet. Horses breathe slowly in their stable. Dogs curl into themselves, dreaming without worry. The world here has narrowed to something simple: a roof, a wall, a quiet breath. Nothing more is needed. And as the village sleeps, so does the past. The echoes of hardship fade, the weight of survival loosens its grip. All that remains is rest, deep, unbroken, and calm. The night watches over everything, and nothing asks to be remembered. Within the castle, the corridors lie still. Stone walls rise high, thick and cold, holding centuries of echoes. Torches burn low in iron brackets, their flames barely moving. Light flickers across the floor, stretching shadows along the walls. Footsteps once echoed here, boots on stone, armor softly clinking, voices murmuring plans and warnings. Now there is only quiet. Tapestries hang motionless, their woven scenes frozen in time. Battles, hunts, feasts, stories captured in thread, watching silently. A long table rests in the great hall, wood polished by countless chairs pushed back, waiting. Plates sit untouched, cups stand empty. The evening meal has long passed. Somewhere above, the wooden beams creak gently as the castle settles into the night. Not from movement, but from age. This place does not sleep like a village does. It watches. The castle remains alert, even in rest. Every wall remembers, every stair knows the weight of armor. Yet tonight there is no banners move, no horns sound. No doors are barred in haste. The castle breathes slowly, stone and timber rising and falling with the night. Time here feels heavy, but safe. Nothing rushes, nothing presses forward, just calm, just stillness. And as the torches dim, the past loosens its grip. Beyond the great hall, a quieter space waits, a place not meant for strategy, but for rest. This is where knights once removed their armor. Heavy plates are laid gently on wooden stands. Metal cools after a long day, releasing soft, fading sounds. The weight that guarded their bodies is finally set aside. Leather-strap gloves fall to the floor. Swords rest against the wall, no longer needed. Here, strength becomes stillness. Beds are simple, wooden frames, straw mattresses, thick wool blankets, not made for comfort, but for sleep earned through duty. A single candle burns near the doorway, its flame steady, its light warm. Shadows soften the sharp edges of helmets and shields. For a moment, warriors are no longer warriors. They are men. Tired, quiet, human. Breathing slows. The world beyond the walls fades. No battles here, no orders shouted, only the gentle rhythm of rest. Outside, the wind brushes the stone towers. Inside, the night deepens. Armor waits patiently but for now, even knights are allowed to sleep. The night is at its deepest point. This is the hour before dawn, when the castle holds its breath. Torches along the corridors burn low, their flames flicker gently, as if tired. Stone walls release the cold they gathered through the night. Somewhere in the distance, a guard shifts his weight. Boots scrape softly against the floor. No voices follow. Most of the castle sleeps. In the towers, narrow windows frame a sky still dark, but slowly changing. Stars fade one by one, giving way to a pale, waiting blue. In the stables, horses breathe in slow, steady rhythm. They sense the coming morning, but remain calm. Kitchens are pots rest where they were left. Fires are burned down to quiet embers. This moment belongs to no one, not to kings, not to knights, not to servants. It is a pause between worlds, between night and day, between rest and duty. Time feels suspended, and in this stillness the castle feels ancient, enduring, unmoving, as if it has watched countless mornings rise and countless lives pass through its walls. The first hint of light, touches the stone. The castle does not rush. It waits. Morning does not arrive suddenly. It moves gently, falls like a whisper across stone. The sky brightens just enough to soften the shadows. Cold air lingers in the corridors, but warmth begins to return. A door opens quietly. Wood creaks, then settles. Footsteps follow, slow, careful, unhurried. Servants wake first. They carry no armor, no banners, only simple tools and quiet purpose. In the kitchens, embers are stirred, a small flame grows. The sound is soft, almost comforting. Water is drawn, buckets move carefully across stone floors. Nothing is rushed. Above, in the towers, birds land along the edges of walls. Shutters open just a little. Fresh air enters rooms long filled with night. The scent of earth and morning drifts inside. Nights remain as slow. Their rest still guarded by silence. The castle does not roar into life, it exhales. Each sound layered gently upon the last. A door, a step, a flame, a breath. This is how medieval mornings began, not with noise, but with patience. And as the light spreads across stone and wood, the day prepares to begin. The castle stirs slowly. In the sleeping chambers, breathing begins to change. Deep rest loosens its hold, gently, without urgency. A knight shifts beneath a heavy wool blanket. Another turns toward the pale light touching the stone wall. No voices rise, no commands are spoken. Sleep releases them one by one. Armor still waits where it was left. Cold, patient, silent. A hand reaches for the wooden cup beside the bed. A small sip of water. A quiet pause. Outside, the courtyard glows with early morning light. Mist drifts low across the ground, softening every sharp edge. The air feels still, almost untouched. Knights sit up slowly. They stretch tired shoulders, roll stiff necks, and rest for a moment before standing. There is no rush. This is not the hour of battle, or this is the space between rest and responsibility. Bare feet touch the stone floor, careful, controlled. Metal does not move yet. Each knight takes a breath, one last calm breath of night. Soon the castle will fill with sand, but not yet. For now the day opens gently, and the warriors. Morning settles fully into the castle. Light spills through narrow windows stretching across stone floors and wooden beams. The chill of night begins to fade. Knights move with quiet purpose now. Tunics are pulled on. Belts are fastened. Boots are laced slowly, one strap at a time. Armor is still not yet. This moment belongs to calm preparation, not to noise or urgency. In the corridors, footsteps pass each other without words. A glance. Nothing more is needed. Some knights pause near open windows. They look out over fields still wrapped in morning mist. The land is peaceful, as if unaware of the conflicts it has known. Fires grow warmer in the kitchens. Water flows into basins. Bread is prepared in silence. The rhythm of the day begins to form, slow and steady. And within these stone walls, routine becomes comfort, because here, in the quiet repetition of mornings, life feels stable, predictable, safe. But beyond the castle walls, the world is already waiting. The castle is awake now, but it does not rush. Light fills the corridors, softening the stone walls. Shadows retreat slowly, step by step. Doors open without foot. Wood meets wood in gentle sounds. Nothing echoes sharply. Knights move through familiar paths. Down staircases worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. Along corridors that remember countless mornings like this one. In the courtyard, figures gather quietly. Not for training, not for commands, only to begin the day together. Breath rises in the cool air. Hands rub warmth into tired fingers. Eyes adjust to the growing light. Some knights pause, standing still for a moment longer. They listen. The distant call of birds, a faint crackle of fire from within the walls in winter, the soft hum of life beginning again. Armor remains at rest, waiting patiently. Its weight is known, respected. For now, the body remembers calm. The mind remains steady. This peaceful beginning matters, because in a world shaped by conflict, quiet mornings like this are rare and precious. Life inside the castle does not rush forward. It moves slowly, carefully, as if time itself has learned patience. The walls have seen generations pass. They remember footsteps long gone, voices that faded centuries ago. Knights live within this quiet memory. Their days begin not with armor as worn with calm precision. Every strap, every piece, placed the same way each morning. There is no hurry, only familiarity. These rituals bring each task has been repeated so many times that it no longer feels like effort. Walking the stone corridors, a knight hears only soft echoes, boots against ancient floors. Breathing, slow and steady. The outside world may speak of glory, of heroic battles and loud victories, but true strength here is quiet. It is found in standing watch through long nights, in remaining alert while the world sleeps, in patience that lasts longer than fear. Meals are modest, shared in silence. Bread, warm soup, simple food. No celebration, no excess. Only nourishment. The mind rests in this simplicity. Conversation is rare, and when words are spoken, they matter. A nod replaces a sentence. A glance replaces expert. Trust is built without speech. Time inside the castle stretches gently. Hours drift by without urgency. The sun crosses the sky, casting slow-moving shadows along the stone. No one rushes to meet it. Responsibility is understood, not questioned. Every knight knows where to be, what to protect, and when to remain still. There is comfort in knowing your place. The castle breathes calmly around them. Its walls shelter not only bodies, but thoughts. And as the day continues, the steady rhythm of this life begins to quiet the mind. Thoughts slow, tension fades. The world feels distant now, soft, muted, and in this gentle stillness, rest becomes natural. Night arrives without announcement. The sky darkens gently, and the castle accepts it in silence. Torches are lit one by one, their warm glow soft against the stone. Shadows stretch and settle, finding their place along the walls. The day's complete. Knights remove their armor slowly, piece by piece, as if releasing the weight of time itself. Metal rests. Bodies rest. Minds follow. There is no need for words now. The castle hums with a low, steady calm. A distant wind moves through narrow windows. Somewhere, a fire crackles softly, steady and reassuring. Guards take their final watch. Their presence is quiet, dependable. Protection without strength without display. Inside, the halls grow still. The past lingers here, but it no longer demands attention. It simply exists, watching over the present like a gentle memory. Breathing slows. The world beyond the walls fades away. There are no battles to fight, no decisions to make, only rest, only warmth. Only the calm certainty that everything is as it should be. The castle sleeps, and as it does, you are free to rest. Let the silence hold you. Let the rhythm of history carry you gently forth. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to hear, only sleep.